Things sure have changed around here since Tom switched his gas station over to Gulf. Old Ed used to drive to the next town over just to get that good Gulf gasoline he grew up with. Ruth Ann says money experts recommend the Gulf MasterCard over most other credit cards. So now folks just fly right in, pay at the pump, and earn free gas. We still offer that good old-fashioned service. Gulf just made buying gasoline faster for people who don't have as much time on their hands.
Sam and Margaret are living a comfortable retirement, a retirement free of financial worry. They live the life they want to live, spend the money they want to spend. And it's all because you left your credit card statement in the garbage can and they stole your number. So from Sam and Margaret, thank you.
Prevent credit card theft with the paper shredder from Office Depot. Office Depot, low prices every day.
Went to every museum.
And the shoe store.
I love that restaurant.
You were scared going up the incline.
Was not.
I remember I didn't want to leave.
For your free visitor's guide, call 1-800-VISIT-PA or visit our website.
If you want to get a better read on sports, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Writing in Pittsburgh is great because this is a sports town. My writing is like the way Darius Kasparaitis plays hockey, hard-hitting.
I just want to step away from that narrow focus that you get in sports and try to be something you can't get on a stat sheet.
Yeah, I wish I had a nickel for everybody that came up to me and said how the Steelers are looking this year. When I tell them the Steelers are looking real big.
Call 1-800-909-TRIB to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk pizza. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's so big it's got 3 zip codes. You need a road map to find your way across it. It's so big on the other side, it's almost Cleveland. It's a genuine street corner, 16-inch New York-style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices dripping with cheese and tomato sauce that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York, $9.99. $9.99. You can't even get a taxi for that price. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof.
Pirates Astros tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports Net Pittsburgh.
Game 3 of this playoff series of the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. We played one period. The Penguins and Leafs are scoreless. Both teams had chances in that first period and couldn't score.
I think the Leafs were the team that really sustained the offensive attack a little bit better than the Penguins did in that period. The Penguins' best scoring opportunities were Matthew Barnaby's chance where he came in close. He had a weak little backhand shot. He almost sneaked in on Curtis Joseph. And Jaromir Jagr twice coming towards the net but not making the shot, instead trying to make the perfect play, which is ironic considering the fact he's been working a lot on his shot the last couple of days. I really think, Mike, the Penguins have to shoot the puck on Curtis Joseph as much as they possibly can. Get that thing bouncing around and then get it behind him, I think, eventually.
Ben's had announced a shot advantage of 7-3, but the Leafs had the last 7 shots in the period. We'll be back with the second period in just a moment.
The Flying Mile. Race fans gather at Daytona's Flying Mile.
Winning Daytona shows that the 300 is a spirited, full-blooded automobile with impeccable road manners.
Chrysler 300M, born like its ancestors with the most horsepower in its class.
No other car delivers this much motoring excitement.
She's a regular firecracker.
And now, Motor Trend 1999 Car of the Year.
We all do dumb things. Fortunately, paying too much for car insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The 9th annual Eaton Park Harmerville Hoops Classic 3-on-3 basketball tournament is Saturday, June 5th. It's open to all age groups 10 and up. Only the first 700 teams are accepted, so enter early. The deadline is May 22nd. Just pick up an entry form at any Eaton Park restaurant or call the Hoops hotline at 412-826-2772. Harmerville Hoops, sponsored by Eaton Park, celebrating 50 years of smiles.
This is Fox Sports Net, Pittsburgh.
Tonight on Fox Sports News Prime Time. The temperature's rising as hardcourt hysteria grips pro basketball. Get the very latest scores and highlights from the NBA playoffs. And this coach will be calling the Hive home sweet home. Plus, the Red Wings try to bury the Avalanche, and the Leafs and Penguins face off in Pittsburgh.
10 on the last word.
Jim Rome takes his cuts with Boston's Nomar Garcia Parra. Get the last word on baseball. Fox Sports News Prime Time, followed by the last word tonight after the game.
Penguins hockey on Fox Sports Net Pittsburgh is brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers, home of the minivan store, by Geico Direct, the sensible alternative, and by Eaton Park, the place for smiles. With Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. Penguins and the Maple Leafs are scoreless as we get ready for period number 2. Erdina, Miller, and Yager begin against the Sundin line as we had at the beginning of the game. And the puck controlled by the Penguins. Yuri Slager trying to work it ahead of Yager. Comes the off wing on the left side against Markov. Driving to the net, and he fires it off Joseph in his chest again. It jumps down, and he puts the paw down.
You see what happens when you get that shot high on Joseph? The puck remains in play, and then it's just a matter of getting to the net and seeing if you can get your stick on it first. Yager with a good wrist shot here coming down the left wing. A sharp angle shot too that he tried to sneak in on the short side on Curtis Joseph. Jan Erdina went 9-4 in the faceoffs. We had 30 of them in the first period. And this time the Leafs come away with it. And here is Bohannes now drawing the puck into the Penguins' end. Barrasso will play it himself up the window and around out of the boards. Yager trying to beat Yuskevich to the puck. He went right into the Maple Leaf zone, but the puck ahead of him. And Markov plays it around the wood here to Matt Sundin. Push it up to center ice. The Penguins bank it right back in. Yuskevich chasing. Over to the youngster Markov. Markov can't clear. But here is Thomas. He lost the puck. The Penguins feed it into the corner, and Slager goes after it. He's all over the ice in the Maple Leaf zone. Penguins in trying to pressure here. And a broken stick left on the ice, and that was Slager's, and he comes off the ice to the Penguins bench. Barnaby waiting for that puck that was in midair like a receiver in football. But the Leafs now bang it back into the Penguin zone, and we'll get an icing call here against Toronto. 1:06 in. The Leafs outshot the Penguins 10-7 in that first period of play. For every goal that Jaromir Jagr scores this season, Scott Paulson and Jim Krenn of the DVE Morning Show will donate $102.50 to the Mario Lemieux Foundation. And the total so far is $4,715. Kovalev, Straka, and Barnaby on the ice. Germán Titov out of the lineup with back spasms. Steve Sullivan for the Maple Leafs also has developed that strange disease, back spasms. Seems to be pretty rampant among hockey players this time of the year. And here's Warenka trying to shoot it, and that'll go wide of the goal. Pulled in by Kovalev. Kovalev knocked up his skates by Todd Warner. Lifted around, and Karpatsev defensively led the NHL on plus minus at a plus 39 this year. Worked it onto center ice. Brad Warenka looking for Matthew Barnaby. Sneak it over to Ian Moran. He turns in his own zone up the body of Derek King, and he'll blast it around the boards. Hops all the way around back to the neutral zone. Barnaby got crunched on a hit by Karpatsev. He is slow in getting up. Penalty too. Alexander Karpatsev banged him hard on the boards. He really got shaken up, boy. Might be cut as well. His face went right into the wall there on that hit from behind by Karpatsev. Barnaby really hustled over to the boards. He saw the puck coming up, and he just got run right over by Karpatsev into the glass. Lost his helmet too. It's going to be a 5-minute penalty. No, it was not. Just 2. Kip Miller got a 5-minute major penalty for boarding and a game misconduct in game 2. Barnaby will try and get to his senses here. And will give the Penguins a power play opportunity. The second of the game, both belonging to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
2 minutes reporting. Time of the penalty 137. Carpet says keep reporting at 137.
In years past in the game of hockey, a boarding penalty almost unquestionably was a 5-minute penalty. You didn't see it too often at a minor level. You wouldn't call boarding too often. It used to be pretty much assured that when you boarded a man, it was a 5-minute penalty, a major penalty.
Definition of the boarding penalty is just sending a player violently into the boards with a hit. There's a good example of one right there, as Karpetsov did not even try to slow down as Barnaby went to the puck first. Matthew has still got some cobwebs up there. He takes a seat on the bench, but the Penguins go to work on a power play.
These can be crucial in these games. Penguins are now 1-for-9 against the Maple Leafs in the power play in this series.
Series, when it started, I felt that these two teams were almost mirror images of each other, and that this would be a very, very difficult series for the Penguins to win. And I think that the impression after the first 2 games in Toronto was that it was going to be easy pickings for the Penguins. It's strange how the dynamic changes when teams switch from home ice to road ice. The Leafs look like a stronger team on the road than they did on their home ice.
Mike Johnson tried to feed it ahead of the Penguins in. Penguins gave up a league-leading 14 shorthanded goals on the year, and you got to keep that in the back of your mind on the regular season. Alexei Kovalev to the near side to Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher drags it through to the near corner, and Robert Lang pushed from behind by Yuskevich. The puck sails over to Robbie Brown. Around to Yager in the corner, and they back off and give him room. Yager to Rob Brown. Brown to Yager again. Sets the table up. Here's Kovalev looking to make a play. Kovalev's going to fire it on towards the net. Block picked up by Yager. And the Pens captain backpedals a little. Warner and Johnson killing the penalty up front. It goes high in the air, and Warner's going to be able to get to it and clear. Or is it a high? What do we have here? A hand pass or a high stick?
Yuskevich seems to be shaken up too.
Yuskevich blocked that shot by Kovalev apparently. And we knew it got blocked, and sometimes you just can't see. There's so many bodies in front. Who was the recipient of it? And it appears that it was Dmitry Yuskevich.
You know he's feeling the sting of that shot because Kovalev can really bring it. We said during game 2 that we thought that Kovalev would be able to get some shots from the point because players seemed to be reluctant to try to block them. Yuskevich was just coming in front of the net there when he got hit. The Leafs don't seem to be as intent, Mike, on blocking shots as the Penguins are when they kill penalties.
Although they outblocked, if you will, the Penguins in game 2, 10-5. The Penguins had the puck pretty much in the Maple Leafs end, periods 2 and 3, however. And that is one of the reasons why they had more blocks. And Barrasso lost the puck in front. Quick shot. Barrasso makes a big save on Gary Balk, the former Penguin. And he stretches out and looks up and kind of gives himself the what for making that play. He gave it away. Here's Straka outside going to the net. Comes in. He doesn't shoot it. He had a roll off his stick. And now maybe Joseph has the Penguins spooked a little bit. They're trying to make the perfect play to beat Curtis Joseph.
I think that was one time where they were following what we said about hanging on to the puck and letting him make the first move, which he did, but then Straka couldn't make the second move.
82 Straka onto the Maple Leafs line. 38 seconds to go to the right side to Robbie Brown. Going to fake putting it down to Yager. Goes to Kovalev. He comes right down the lane. Wrist shot. Missed the net. Comes off the boards. Perreault clears in the swinging motion. Makes a good play there to Yannick Perreault. 25 to go, and Barrasso leaves it right behind the net. He wasn't going to put it anywhere away from that goal at all as he dumped it behind. Here comes Kovalev coming through hard against Markov. Carries it around behind the net now all the way around the near side. Drop pass off to Straka. Has to get it back to Kovalev in a hurry with a pretty play. Kovalev, Yager's open in the right wing circle. Straka sees him and he goes left side to Kovalev. Now to open man. A quick shot by Brown and missed the net. Might have been blocked on the way in. Here comes Karpetsev. He's on. The lead pass just avoided him. As the defenseman for the Maple Leafs came out of the penalty box. The Penguins are 0 for 2 in the power play. Mike Johnson sets it back up for Matt Sundin. Sundin, 6'4". Kovalev knocked it off his stick. Can he get it out? He can't. The Leafs have it in front of Steve Thomas, and they can't get it through. Beautiful block by Straka, who's dead tired. Around to the right side. The Leafs have an advantage right now. Kip Miller trying to get up ice. Miller going hard to the Leafs zone. Poke checked away. And Matt Sundin reaches back, and the Penguins are trying to get new troops on here on this play. Digging for it along the near boards. Barnaby, he's back on for the Penguins. Steve Thomas loaded over to Yuskevich, and he tried to get it up into the Penguin zone. He turns, looks, and shoots it in. Penalty coming up here, and it's against the Penguins. Barnaby. He flattened one of the Leafs, and he's going to go off.
And you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. A penalty against Pittsburgh. The Penguins had a couple of power play opportunities. There is where Barrasso created a problem for himself, but Gary Ball couldn't make him pay.
If you've never experienced the thrill of Mach 3, it's wake-up time. Introducing Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3, so you don't have to shave over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Hey, let's talk New York. Let's talk pizza. Let's talk big. Like the new Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. It's so big it's got 3 zip codes. You need a road map to find your way across. It's so big on the other side, it's almost Cleveland. It's a genuine street corner 16-inch New York style pizza with 8 big floppy foldable slices dripping with cheese and tomato sauce that's really, really good. At a price that's very un-New York. $9.99. $9.99. You can't even get a taxi for that price. The Big New Yorker pizza from Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof.
Alexei Kovalev was laying the lumber on one of the Leafs over here on the near boards, and I was thinking to myself, be careful, Alexei, you're going to get a penalty. That's just a good solid hit there by Matthew Barnaby. Now, if Yushkevich ends up going into the boards there, that might be a boarding call. But he didn't go into the boards. He just went down before he actually got to the boards. And Kovalev is the man who took the penalty, a cross-check at 4:26, and now the Leafs have a chance to get the lead on the power play.
Avalanche scores again. They now lead Detroit 3-1 in period number 2 at Detroit. This one no score, period number 2, and the Maple Leafs on their first power play of the night. Here they come into the Penguins end. Steve Thomas rips it wide of the Penguin net. It'll come off to the near corner. The Penguins trying to get it out, and they will. The Maple Leafs in this series 1-4-7 against the Penguins at 14.3%. That's just about where they are. 2 in the overall picture for the playoffs, including the Philadelphia series. Here comes Brad Wawrinka. Hits the Toronto blue line and shoots the puck down the boards, and then behind Curtis Joseph. Sundin streaking through into the Penguins end. Right over the top of the head of Dan Cassidy. He lifts the stick. It comes to Bohannes. Harry Bohannes with a 3-point night against the Penguins in game 2 to Berard. Berard around the net, deflected by Thomas and just offline. Penguins Bobby Dallas stumbles a bit, has the puck, and he clear. Karpatsev kept it in neatly. Shot it up Dan Kessel. It comes right to Steve Thomas. What's the call here? A hand pass. It hit one of the Leafs and then directed over to Thomas, and the hand pass called brings the faceoff outside of the Penguins end.
When the Leafs rush into the Penguin zone, you'll notice that their forwards, actually Steve Thomas will come into the zone early to get speed. What they do is they get Thomas to go into the offensive zone early to gain some speed, and then he comes back out with speed to go back in. Watch on the right side of your screen, you're going to see Thomas. See, he's already in the Penguins' end. He comes back out now, comes across so that he's coming with speed back into the Pittsburgh zone. It also makes those defensemen backing off be aware that Thomas is up ice, but he's not standing still that way. And he gets, Yager waits up ice, and often he'll just kind of park himself at the blue line. They take a different tact and try to get their players moving, so that when they get the puck or they head into the offensive zone, they've already got speed up.
Thomas Kamerla hits the Penguin stripe, and it's cut off by Slager, who drills it up the other way. Curtis Joseph leads it over to Thomas Kamerla. Kamerla looking for somewhere to go. He looks left, right, back away again, and over to Sylvain Cote. Barrasso couldn't cut it off behind the net. It jumps over to the near corner, back to the right point. Kamerla finds a man. Cote to the goal, and it's Barrasso making that save. Straka tried to golf it out, and the Penguins do get there, and Hatcher makes the play to feed it back into the Toronto zone.
Eric King got upended as he went and cutting in front of Barrasso. Mike, the Leafs are doing a good job of slashing those wingers through the goal mouth area to time it so that it's just when the shot's arriving at the crease.
This is an offside call. Derek King way 20 feet inside the blue line. Stops the rush with only 8 seconds to go on the Kovalev penalty. We're still without a score here. Colorado adds another one, and they now lead the Red Wings 4-1 in the second period.
Get the traffic in front of Tom Barrasso. Puck comes back. Look at King go right through the goal mouth here. He was tripped up as he came through. Yuri Slager, and Barrasso still made the save. Well, that requires a tremendous amount of concentration on the part of the goaltender. He's got to just be really focused in on that puck. And Not allow that traffic and that interference, if you will, to detract from what he's trying to do.
Barrasso in his 110th playoff game here tonight. Some pretty impressive numbers for the Penguin netminder. It's a lot of hockey. And here's Markov. It's another season plus just in playoff games. Skevich going back. This is number 110 for Jaromir Jagr, too. He's been in the league 9 years and has been in the playoffs every year. Domi's going to steer it in. The penalty to Kovalev expires. The Penguins Wawrinka after it. And Adam Mayer got a piece of Wawrinka. Maple Leafs tie Domi. Mayer in front. Couldn't direct it on Barrasso. It did come off his right pad, though. Actually trying to redirect it. The Penguins have to come after the loose puck, and Bobby Dallas takes command of it.
Barrasso is extremely sharp tonight, Mike. He's really seeing the puck well.
Daniil Markov, it appears both goaltenders may have to be the way this game is going. We're almost halfway through, and neither club has been able to score. And dumped long for the Maple Leafs. Penguins trying to get there first to get the icing call, and they do. And a good hustling effort by Ian Moran. We're in the second period, still here in Game 3. No score.
Sure have changed around here since Tom switched his gas station over to Gulf. Old Ed used to drive to the next town over just to get that good Gulf gasoline he grew up with. Ruth Ann says money experts recommend the Gulf MasterCard over most other credit cards. So now folks just fly right in, pay at the pump, and earn free gas. We still offer that good old-fashioned service. Gulf just made buying gasoline faster for people who don't have as much time on their hands.
Tonight, don't miss Fox Sports News Primetime for your chance to win a trip to watch baseball's best in Boston. Just watch Fox Sports News weeknights for the clue, then log on to foxsports.com to enter. We're having a ball sweepstakes brought to you by 10-10-220 and Valvoline. The Penguins had 6 shots in the first 5 minutes of this game. They registered only 3 in the last 23 minutes or so.
Gianardina will handle the draw. If you look at it that way, the Penguins are due then. Pretty good flurry here somewhere. This club usually will have 1 or 2 along the way. Wawrinka and Hatcher stare in. They'll be the 2 defensemen. And Sundin on the assignment here against Turdina again. And that puck will be controlled by the Maple Leafs and Steve Thomas. Feeds it right by the big circle. And it's center ice. Kevin Hatcher has to go back. Jagr couldn't get a handle on it. The puck controlled by the Leafs, and they fire it. That was deflected, and it skips up into the seats again. Another face-off coming up. Well, Colorado is pouring it on. Billy Ranford's having a tough night. 5-1 now, Colorado in the second. They've scored 5 goals after Detroit took a 1-0 lead.
And that's the weirdest thing that's happening with the Avalanche. They cannot win on their home ice, and they're playing great hockey on the road. And we're not surprised because they came in here to Pittsburgh this year and played an outstanding road game and beat the Penguins. And they were awful in their rink when we went out there. They were terrible defensively. They're like 2 different teams. And it's strange in the playoffs and just in general now what has happened to teams. The difference between how they play at home and how they play on the road. And this game is an example of it too. The Leafs are a much more structured team right now, playing a tight road game against Pittsburgh.
And Kip Miller of the Penguins drills it ahead up the center. Jagr comes flying in against Juskevich, puts the brakes on, looking in front. And trying to deflect that was Kip Miller. He couldn't quite get the stick down on it. Matt Sundin fires it right by Bohannes, and the puck rolling into the Penguins' end. Up now to Hrdina. One legs it up to center ice and corralled by Thomas, who got the body into him. Jagr trying to find some room. He can't do it. And here comes Sundin. Sundin breaking to the Penguins' end, dancing with the puck. Forgot to bring the partner. Left side, though. Got a man there, and a shot by Bohannes. Just stopped by Barrasso. Jagr rips it back onto center ice, and the Maple Leafs will pull back and take command of it.
Barrasso is showing the hockey world that he is still a premier playoff goaltender.
Here comes Derek King down the right wing. His wrist shot, and it caroms off of Barrasso in front. Johnson scores. Mike Johnson gets a goal. He pushed it right by Barrasso, and the Maple Leafs take a 1-0 lead.
told you earlier, this is a guy who they're looking to get some goals from. That's only his second goal of the playoffs, but a huge goal in this game. They're almost to the halfway point, and the Leafs get on the board. They had a goal disallowed in the first period, and Barrasso kicked that puck away, but it came right to King. He threw it out in front, and there was Johnson right there. Shoot it past Barrasso.
Boy, Derek King made a nice play here.
He really did, and nobody picked up Johnson coming late. Everybody was watching the puck there. Rank up Brown, everybody turned around. Hatcher, nobody looking back. Barrasso was looking back at the puck. Johnson was looking at it too. He was the one who got rid of it to give the Leafs a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Maple Leafs have played some playoff games here at the Civic Arena. In a series back in '77, the Maple Leafs won a best-of-3 series, 2-1. They won both games here in that series at the Civic Arena. Here is Mike Johnson around to the near boards and off the glass. He just had the only goal of the game as he tallied for the Maple Leafs. He's second of the playoffs.
King and Markov get the assists. Mike Johnson, a college player who was not drafted. Signed as a free agent out of college. He played at Bowling Green, kind of a late bloomer. And we saw him right at the end of his the college year. He had joined the Leafs right prior to the end of the regular season. He came to Pittsburgh and played. That might have been his first NHL game in this building. He was flying. We had an inkling right then that Mike Johnson was going to be a darn good hockey player. Last year was his first full season in the league, and now this year a 20-goal season with the Maple Leafs.
Let's see what happens here. How many times when you get a game like this and it's very tight, a goal is scored and it just opens the gate for everybody to kind of participate offensively. Looking for an answer here, and Kovalev against Yannick Perreault, and Perreault handily wins that draw. There is a bump by Barnaby, and the puck around to Sylvain Cote. Cote winds it up to Gary Boldt. Here come the Leafs again, onto the Penguin zone. This Kaperlov fired it off the boards around to the near corner, still in Penguin real estate. Barnaby looks for some room. Barnaby comes around, he's got a clear lane here as he comes up. There is Hammond, that speed chases after him. The Penguins Kovalev shoots it behind the defense.
Look at the obstruction. The Leafs are really picking guys off right now, not allowing the Penguins to get their forecheck.
This is Kovalev with the biscuit coming down the slot. Here he comes. Straka takes over. No, he can't. He goes right by. Penalty coming up against the Maple Leafs as Kovalev was taken off his skates. There'll be a tripping call here against the Maple Leafs.
Well, the Penguins, with that great puck control that they have and the ability to hang on to the puck, to force teams to do things they don't want to do. Barnaby was really driving, trying to forecheck. You see Cote knocked him down, and then Kovalev was hauled off his skates. They did a lot of knocking people down on that shift there as the Penguins tried to come into their end. And look how the Leafs get their defense involved in the rush. Cote gives it to Volk. He looks back and finds Coverley coming late on the weak side, coming with speed through the neutral zone. And they're trying to outnumber the Penguins to the blue line. They had 4 players coming to the Penguins 3. A lot of talk about the Penguins having 3 guys back all the time and how difficult it is to get into the Penguin zone. They're trying to get those defense to carry that puck through the neutral zone, get as many bodies coming at the Penguins at the blue line as they possibly can. But now the Penguins have a chance in the power play, and Cote is the man in the box.
1 for 10 on the power play of the Penguins against the Maple Leafs. 0 for 2 tonight. Left of Curtis Joseph, the Toronto netminder. Kovalev and Perreault really stretching down to get his body in position here for this face-off against Kovalev. And Perreault easily won it. Comes to Yuskevich. Up in the air, kept in by Straka. Good play. Kovalev finds open space to get the puck to Barnaby. Barnaby, cross rink. The Yager cut off, now knocked down to the air by Straka to prevent the puck from going up ice. Or do they call a high stick on the puck? Oh, wow. Called a high stick on the puck. Yuskevich is upset, but the play comes outside of the blue line. They want to bring it all the way back into the Penguins' end if it was against the Penguins. I'm not so sure Straka's stick was above his shoulder, but he doesn't argue too much. The Penguins do not either.
Barnaby tried to feather this puck through. He just didn't get enough steam on it. It was picked off by Perreault.
Yeah, I think it was. Now they look at it. Stick above the shoulder is a high stick in the puck. You cannot do that. If you're on the offense on a power play, they penalize you even more, and they bring the face-off all the way back into your own end. One of the rare things you see in hockey, but it does happen. You've got a power play and a man advantage.
stick is involved on the puck.
And Hatcher's going to be able to get to it. The Penguins should get credit for that face-off win. Halfway point of period number 2. The Penguins now trail 1-0 here at home. Here's Yager bolting through against Markov. Drop pass back to Marty Straka. Losing his stick is Warner and goes back to get it. Straka's got a chance here. Left side goes to Kovalev. Kovalev moves in. Doesn't. Goes to Straka. Back to Yager in the right wing circle. Yager had it poked away by Warner. Now Barnaby takes over.
Passed up 2 shots there, Mike. You just got to get the puck to the net right.
He's got him spooked. I'm telling you right now. Is what Joseph. He's got him spooked. They don't know what to do to beat him.
They're doing the opposite of what you got to do, though. You got to shoot more, not less.
Kovalev to Straka, right side. Here's Yager drilling one on the goal, and Joseph will make the save. Hatcher got buffed from behind by Yuskevich. He went through the goal mouth.
2 things that have happened. One thing is when the Penguins move the puck around for the perfect play, they're in a way they're playing right into Curtis Joseph's strength because he plays on the goal line. He plays like a European goaltender. He hangs back in his crease. And it's easier for him to go side to side than it is for a lot of other goalies because he does play so deep in his crease. And he spreads out too. So I think the thing with him is you got to just shoot the puck straight on him. He's going to give up rebounds, and you got to go to the net and get some ugly goals against him.
And that will usually loosen him up. Right. Will kind of make him think a little bit too about how he's handling the situation. Right now he's playing with supreme confidence. Curtis Joseph.
Well, while I'm doing all that talking, the Penguins will probably make one of those tic-tac-toe plays.
Well, it can happen. Here comes Kovalev on the draw, and the Penguins' Yager gets to it. Yager moving with Berard, backpedaling in towards that net. Well, that was kind of a dangerous play there. I'll keep an eye on that. Berard, you don't want to get too far away from Yager and give him that room. It comes over to Kovalev. Kovalev now to Straka, cutting in. He moves in, trying to pass it over to Hatcher. He can't connect there.
See, he could have shot the puck, and Hatcher's right there for a rebound. That's what I'm talking about.
Here's Robbie Brown with the puck in front of Hatcher. Can he put it in? He can't. The line went on. I don't know if it's a goal or not. They must keep the play going. They don't think so. And we're not sure whether or not the puck went in or not. The red light went on. The minor officials are not from Pittsburgh. They're from a visiting city. Hatcher talking to the referee. The way the Penguins kept playing, I don't know if they knew that the puck had gone in.
I think Kerry Fraser wants to know if it went in. He wants the video goal judge to tell him. And it may have gone off a player's foot or skate or something like that. And we'll see what happens here. Robbie Brown often. That's a goal.
No, it is. If it hit a skate and went in, yes, it will be.
The question is, was it all the way across the line? The overhead camera is the only thing that's going to tell us that. You see the puck there, but I couldn't tell if it was all the way over the line.
I think it was.
But I'll tell you this, Robbie Brown, how many goals has he scored at the end of the year on the power play, just throwing that puck through the goal mouth and having it going off people and in. Here comes the overhead view at it. Robbie Brown scored a couple of power play goals in the end of the regular season by doing just this.
Oh, right there now.
I don't know.
Now it went all the way across the goal line. Now I have to see if they get a definitive answer whether it was across the line on the near side. I thought it was in further than that, but it apparently was right along the goal line. This is going to be a tough call, and it has to be conclusive. So the problem you have, in all likelihood, it would not go for the Penguins because it needs to be conclusive. You have to be able to see that puck across the line.
The fans are cheering and cheering and cheering, and the video goal judge is not going to be influenced by that, however.
No, and he's got a supervisor here working this whole series, Charlie Banfield, who will actually make the ultimate decision.
You have to determine whether or not that puck completely disappeared behind the line or if it just disappeared underneath that outside edge of the crease.
And even the overhead that we saw there with that angle could not give us a conclusive evidence that did happen. I don't think. Kerry Fraser, the veteran referees, and he'll take his time here to make sure that the call is right. Dale Ruth is the official here, but you can see Dale Ruth in the background is not on the phone. Is that Dave Newell? That's Charlie Boyd.
They're trying to be absolutely sure here, and I'm telling you, the longer it goes, the more it seems like it's inconclusive, which then would mean that it won't be a goal.
Well, the other side of it is the Penguins continue to play through it. And now the other referee, Dave Jackson, will get a headset here, and he will talk to somebody upstairs, apparently.
The goal judge turned the light on. He is supposed to turn that light on if he sees black on white behind the red line. If he can see white between the red and the black of the puck, then he will turn that light on.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, even if it's kicked in, or whatever happens, the way they're throwing it, when the puck crosses the goal line, his job is to turn that light on. That's his job. He doesn't make a decision whether or not how the puck got there or what happened on the play. He turns the light on when the puck crosses the line. Well, he was a little delayed on turning that light on, too. He didn't do it immediately.
And this is taking way too long, I can tell you that. You're talking to the goal judge on the headset.
Yeah.
That's a new angle there. We've never seen that before. I want to know why he thinks it was in the net. Here's another look at it from a completely different angle, but you really don't see the puck now. It's hard to tell. Even hard to tell there, I think. Certainly looks like it's all the way in, but it also looks like it's kind of catching some of the post.
The goal judges are from Chicago, and Kerry Fraser apparently now they want to talk to the goal judge again.
Now you tell me, wouldn't it be better to have a monitor in the penalty bench? Why couldn't you do that? When you got all this technology, you have a monitor, the referee comes over and he looks at what we're looking at. He tells the video goal judge it's connected to the box up here, and he gets a look at it on the ground level on the ice. Then you would never have to worry about it. And the referee could also make subjective calls. He could say, you know what?
I think he's going to give him the goal if he's talking to the goal judge. I do, because he asked him basically.
It's not in. They're explaining it's not a goal.
Sundin talking. I mean, what he's asking the goal judge, are you sure the puck was in? Yeah, it is. It's going to count. I'm telling you, he wouldn't ask the goal judge like that. He asked him. That was the last resort. Was it in your opinion? And he said yes, and he went with that call. I really believe that. Penguins score. Robbie Brown will be the goal scorer, and we're tied at 1. How about that for a long goal? Did that take a long time? How sweet it is for that one.
Oh, boy. No wonder the video goal judge couldn't make the decision. But I just want to finish my point that I think if you had a monitor on the ice, Mike, you'd have a situation on goals that are questionable as to whether or not there's a guy in the crease or whatever. The referee could make a subjective call as to whether or not that guy in the crease actually interfered with the goaltender. Now they're explaining it to Pat Quinn on the other side of the ice.
Hatcher gets the goal because he was closest to it, but Brown is the man that shot the puck. I don't think it hit Hatcher's skate.
No, he put a stick in there inside the post. I think he may have gotten some wood on it.
Now, he might have. Can we try one more time, guys, if we have the time to look at it? That's what I'm saying. I did. I said the goal judge, his final opinion went to the goal judge, and he said the puck was in. The minor officials working the goals are from Chicago. Let's just see here where Hatcher. Robbie Brown shot it. We saw it come off the defenseman's skate, and Hatcher did reach in. But did he ever touch the puck? There you see the puck come off the inside of the post and out. Joseph spinning around. He knew there was a chance that puck was in. Joseph did. Anyway, we've got a brand new hockey game. Hatcher gets credit for the goal. It's his second. Brown and Yager officially credited with the helpers.
4.5 minutes it took to get that decision, and the Penguins have had the benefit of a goal being disallowed by Toronto and one allowed by the Penguins here in this game. And these are huge breaks for the Penguins, and
you know how long that was? Long enough to serve up another one at the tavern. Everybody's waiting. Give me another one. See, it just helped the tavern, and they're all happy as can be now because it delayed the game a bit, and everybody got real thirsty waiting for that decision. Frazier now talks to Joseph, the goaltender. At this juncture, he goes down to skate back to talk to him. He's explaining to Curtis Joseph what the call was. The goal judge right behind. Curtis is turning to say, I don't know if the puck crossed the line. I know he saw it. Goaltenders are absolutely incredibly aware of what's happening around them. Surprisingly so. They can tell you at the other end how a puck went in.
I'll tell you, that's more power than I thought the goal judge had, to be honest with you. It's surprising, really, that they went back to him.
Yager onto Herdin. He'll give the puck to Yuri Slager. Slager shoots it in. I think where it got down to is Frazier decided, you know, he wasn't sure, and they wanted to find out why you turned the goal light on. Did you think it was in? That was, you know, it was so close, and he had to go with his opinion. And I respect it. I mean, that's why he's there anyway, to turn the light on. We'll be back in a moment. All right, we got a lot of time left in this one. Been a good hockey game. We're tied at 1.
With Bell Atlantic Mobile, you can make important calls from just about everywhere, like the I'm stuck at the airport call or the I'll be late for dinner call. That's because everything we do is for one reason. That moment when you make the I wish I could tuck you in call.
Will you be home for your morning hug?
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Your call goes through. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile.
The Flying Mile. Race fans gather at Daytona's Flying Mile.
Winning Daytona shows that the 300 is a spirited, full-blooded automobile with impeccable road manners.
Chrysler 300M, born like its ancestors with the most horsepower in its class.
No other car delivers this much motoring excitement.
She's a regular firecracker.
And now, Motor Trend 1999 Car of the Year.
Well, that was an interesting sequence because we saw the video goal judge basically say, I can't come to a conclusion, and the goal judge turned to by Kerry Fraser, and he ended up making the call. That's, as far as they're concerned, they made the right call on the ice, and that's what they're all trying to do. They're trying to make sure that they make the proper call, even if it does take 4.5 minutes to get it done.
I think it took even longer than that. Here's Kovalev dumping the puck back to Brad Wawrinka. 8:38 to go in the second period. Penguins and Leafs are tied at 1 here in game number 3 of this playoff series. Warner on with Johnson and King. The Penguins trying to use their system to bring it up ice.
By the way, I'm not the only one who thinks they should have a monitor in the penalty box or down there on the bench. Scotty Bowman is another guy who thinks that, and I think he's a guy whose opinions are generally pretty salient. Maple Leafs and Penguins again at 7 o'clock for game 4. Here's a guy from Ontario, eh? He'll be there, I'll bet, Thursday night. He'll be hanging around Pittsburgh for a few days in those taverns Mike was talking about. Casper?
Where is Casper? Going to Pittsburgh or not?
Oh, he's probably downstairs.
Kovalev deals it in behind the net. Near is Brad Wawrinka. Turning away from Mike Johnson. After a long delay, the Penguins get back into action here in the second period. Barnaby pressured. With a little forechecking effort here against the Penguins. They have them bottled up. And the Penguins get it out, they will. And here comes Alexei Kovalev. Kovalev can't get the puck to Straka. The Leafs charge right back on the counterattack.
Got to get it deep against this club, Mike.
Derek King onto the net. And that'll be stopped by Barrasso. Dumped off the board. Back to the right point. Cote shoots it. Look out. Stopped in front. Rebound. Derek King fires. Scores. Falling down. Derek King makes it 2-1. What a goal by Derek King. And the Leafs answer right back against the Penguins. And a huge goal by Toronto.
That's a huge goal. I mean, psychologically, for them to battle back after the adversity of having a goal disallowed and also one allowed that they may have felt wasn't in, and then to score. But it all starts with the Penguins making it easy for him. Kovalev carries the puck to the blue line, tries to force a pass. It's picked off by Kaberla, and he quickly turns it the other way. Turnover, and the Leafs carry the puck into the Penguin zone. Derek King was the man who carried it in. He took the first shot. Barnaby had the puck, tried to clear it, couldn't get it out. It was held in by Cote. Shot, the rebound came out. King just fought off Wawrinka here, falling down, and shoots it into the net to make it 2-1. He's never got the puck out of their end after they turned it over at the Toronto blue line.
Derek King has scored some big goals against the Penguins in his career. And what gives the Maple Leafs the lead again, 2-1 here in the second period. After a scoreless game until the 8:21 mark of the second period, now it looks as though he might go the other way and open up the doors a little bit. Here comes Robbie Brown on the right side, drops it over to Dallas, cutting for the goal. There he is. Shoots and scores. Bobby Dallas beats Joseph like a rented mule, and the Penguins have tied it at 2.
Bobby Dallas had a chance in the last game. You remember, he shot it over the net. He's trying to shoot high on Curtis Joseph. He knows what to do. And he buried it right past his right arm on the stick side. Robbie Brown made a great play here, too. Perfect pass. See, he hung on to the puck. He waited for Joseph to go down. He didn't shoot it right away. He hung on to it. Joseph went down, and then he went upstairs with a good snapshot, perfectly placed. And that's somebody that has a little bit of an offensive flair in Bobby Dallas, and he believes he does have that more than maybe people give him credit for. Certainly he showed it enough there. That's a nice shot. Beautiful. You need heroes. You need guys to step up, guys you don't expect.
So in a span of 24 seconds, Derek King gave the Leafs the lead. The Penguins answer. Bob Dulles with his first of this playoff year and ties it at 2. Domi and Brown from the face-off here start to whack one another. Robbie Brown has figured in on both Penguin goals, the one by Hatcher and the other by Dulles. If you look at it, the Penguins scored twice in a span of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. That's an outstanding number in itself, but in between that, the Leafs sandwiched in a goal themselves. And here's a steal by the Leafs. They go right side to Domi. Domi shoots it on the net. Stop, rebound. It's loose. Scored. The Leafs get it right back. It is in front of the net, and Mayer gets his first ever playoff goal. Alan Mayer will give the Leafs the lead 3-2. Well, my, is this game turned around in a hurry. From a scoreless duel to one to now is scoring on every shift.
Greg Andersak turned the puck over at the blue line. Bobby Dallas came across here. He tried to block a shot. He was down and out at that point. Barrasso could not find that loose puck. Mayer did, and he jammed it into the net. Mayer really went to the net.
Now we got another controversy here. They got to go upstairs again.
He was in the crease, but he got back out of it when he shot the puck. He was not in it when he shot it. And he did kind of run into the goaltender here. Let's see what he does. Bumps over into Tommy and then shoots the puck in. It's a goal. Sorry. In my opinion, it's a goal. We'll see what goes on now. We'll wait another 5 minutes.
Well, Dave Jackson into the discussion here with Kerry Frazier. The only thing that they could possibly call here. Now you see the linesman now talking to both referees.
The spontaneity of the game is really lost when you have all of this, and that's unfortunate because it's one of the beautiful things about hockey.
They would call a goaltender's interference call here. I mean, that probably is what should have been called there. Mayer got the puck as he ran over Barrasso. This is one that might go back to the Maple Leafs, and truth be known, Mayer probably should have gotten a penalty for goaltender interference. You can't run a goaltender over, but he did in the same motion, put the puck in, so it will be a goal. Mayer will get it, and the Leafs have the advantage 3-2. Can you imagine if you're sitting in Detroit as we are now watching the Colorado Red Wings score come in? They're watching a scoreless game on the board. 0-0-0-0-0, and then 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. It's like, whoa, what's going on in Pittsburgh? Just as we said when Colorado was down 1-0 and scored 5 straight. And still another continued delay here before we go back to the center ice faceoff. The goal is good. And it counts, and it comes at 12:58 of the second period. 20-year-old youngster. Boy, everything Quinn touches turns to gold. He put Bohannes in the game 2, and he had 3 points. Mayer comes on to replace Sullivan. He gets a goal, and the Leafs have the lead.
And by the way, the video goal judge is not charged with the opportunity or the ability to call goaltender interference.
Oh, not at all. You're absolutely right.
So if they weren't going to call that on the ice, they weren't going to call it.
Absolutely.
They were determined.
I don't argue that.
They were looking to see if he was in the crease, apparently, because the only thing they could have been going upstairs for, because they have to make that call on the ice, goaltender interference.
Giannardino working over one of the Leafs, and now the Penguins will have to stage a comeback here. Try and get the tying goal again. Done it before, and here comes Kip Miller. Yager on the right wing couldn't take the pass. He couldn't get it through. This will be an offside call against the Penguins. Now it's waved off as Kip Miller hands it over to Yager. Going to the net. Now put it in front. Open net. And Hatcher couldn't quite get the puck. One of the Leafs runs into the goal, and it's dislodged. And this game is opened up into a freewheeling contest here. It is. How could you look at these two teams? They played so conservatively in the first half of the game. All of a sudden it turns around and they're just going end to end now.
Look where Curtis Joseph is on this play again.
He's changed his makeup, too. He's a little on the
he's been doing this the whole series. You bring that puck down the left side, you hang on to it, he's going to come charging out at you. We've seen it now at least 3 times on Wawrinka, Kip Miller, and now Yager. Key with him is he goes down first. You got to take advantage of that. Wait for him to go down and then shoot the puck up on it, like Bobby Dallas did. He's been making the first move a lot.
Maple Leafs win this face-off, and Kamberloff will get over to the near boards, dumped by Johnson. Right onto the stick of Marty Straka. Will leave it for Matthew Barnaby. 3-2 Toronto here in the second period. 6 minutes left. Scramble back in the Penguins in between Johnson and Moran. They both went down. Moran lost his helmet. Warner trying to get some room to get into the Penguins in. And it comes off to Straka, who falls or goes by a falling defenseman. That's Kamberloff. 3 Leafs are back, though. Drop pass to Barnaby, and he just missed on that shot. Straka, the Penguins wind up behind the net. Here's Barnaby shooting in front. And it comes off one of the Leafs, and Karam's on to center ice. The Penguins have to hustle to get onside. Barnaby will do that. Puck is turned back into the left of Curtis Joseph. 3-2 Leafs. Kamberloff sneaks it up the right wing to Mike Johnson. Leafs just shoot the puck into the Penguins in and chase off here in a line change. Andrusak of the Penguins floats it up into Toronto territory. Brian Berard. Gary Balkasenter. Look at that play by Berezan to take it off his stick and turn it over in a hurry, but he lost control of it. Alexei Morozov stuffs it up to Robbie Brown. The Penguins send it in deep. 5 left here in the period. Right point to Hatcher with the Penguins. He shoots that puck and it goes offline. Joseph doesn't look to be the same goaltender to me right now. He's a different netminder in that goal. Here's Perreault. It comes off to Robbie Brown. Brown moving with the puck around to Morozov. Morozov turning back to the left point to Dallas. Shoots it and never got through to the net. Yannick Perreault. Good charge in by Andrusak to keep it alive for a moment. Now Lang lost it and a 3-on-1 develops. Here come the Leafs. Down the left side. Ball goes over to Perreault. Perreault shoots it. Barrasso, a key save there against Yannick Perreault. Well, the Penguins gambled as they went into that zone. Andrusak went in. Got caught. Well, Andrusak got hurt too. He's hurt going to the Penguin bench.
That's the Penguin system, Mike. They're pinching their D and the center's back, but Lang is the center back, see, and he's the one who tries to pinch too to keep the puck in. And when he does that, that really opens the floodgates. Now you've got a defenseman pinching and your center iceman who's supposed to be back, and you've got 3 Leafs coming down on one defenseman, Bobby Dallas. Dallas tried his best to stay in the middle here. Barrasso just took the shooter. Dallas took away the pass as well as he could. Barrasso stayed with the shooter and made the save. We'll be back in a moment. The Leafs lead the Penguins 3-2, a total of 4 goals scored in 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
The book with more doctors and hospitals to choose from, including orthopedic specialists. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. The book with more doctors and hospitals to choose from, including pediatricians. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Introducing a whole new idea in breakfast. New breakfast bagel sandwiches. Only McDonald's brings you our tender, juicy steak, egg, and cheese bagel, our zesty Spanish omelet bagel with sausage, and the classic taste of our ham, egg, and cheese bagel. 3 big breakfast sandwiches, all on a toasted bagel baked fresh daily at McDonald's. It's a new day and a new breakfast. Come on in.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
What do you know? There is something new under the sun.
Face off in Penguin territory to the right point. Daniil Markov streaking to the Penguin net. Look out here, and he tried to center it, and it's off the body of Kevin Hatcher. Yuri Slager hauls it in for the Penguins. He looks for some open room. Kip Miller. Flip it up ahead to Kevin Hatcher and back to Yager, and he bolts up into the Toronto zone. Yager turns and shoots. It's off the glove, and Joseph went right through it. And the puck rolls around to the near corner. Yager handles it again. In front, here's Herdina with a backhander. Backing in with Joseph, but he got the stick down to make the stop on Jan Herdina. Markov and Herdina push and shove one another after the play. The face off in Toronto ice, and the Penguins threaten to tie the game here with 4:02 left in the second.
Well, the Penguins just getting the puck to the net. Yager now deciding to shoot the puck, and he had a good shot on Joseph that jumped off of him and went over the back of the net, and then he got the puck to Hrdina, who just pushed a backhander. And look at Markov. He is an abrasive player. Took shots at Hrdina there to get him away from the goaltender Joseph.
The Penguins have a high-powered unit out here. Now Yager skated to stay on. Where's he going to go? He's talking to the coaching staff. They'll put Kovalev, Yager, and Straka together. Moran and Marinka will work the blue line. Sundin against Kovalev. Penguins win the face-off. Marinka trying to get into the net in a hurry. Thomas blocked it. The lead pass comes through, and the Penguins cut that off. Straka down the boards. Yager goes in against Yushkevich. Yushkevich won that battle around the wood. The Penguins will be there. Moran back in front of the net, deflected. Here comes the Straka shooting. And it was deflected by Yager and just offline. Picked up by the Maple Leafs. They roll it ahead to center ice. Bohannes trying to get off here as the Leafs trying to make a change here. They want a different line out against the Penguins unit that's featured on the ice right now. And the Penguins do pull Yager off. Barnaby going on, dumps it down the boards and in behind the net. Yager out there with a face-off in the Toronto zone. That's why they had him out. Markov takes the puck. He's going to shoot it over the outstretched glove of Ian Moran. Rasso, as we approach the 3-minute mark left here in the second period. Marcus sneaks it over to Ian Moran and back to Marinka. Here comes Barnaby now through. Stopped for a moment by Cote. Trying to solve the Maple Leafs scheme. Into the Toronto's goal or the zone, and it's an offside call.
Well, the Leafs are doing a pretty good job now, Mike, in their system of clogging up the neutral zone. They're not really pressuring the Penguins a lot in their end. They're kind of backing off and trying to do the neutral zone forecheck, and a little pressure D too. Their defense are really stepping up. A moment ago, Barnaby came down the right wing, and the Leafs defenseman on the left side just stepped right up in his face. I believe it was Daniel Markov. They're doing a good job of standing the Penguins up in the neutral zone and at their blue line and forcing the Penguins to get the puck behind them. Got a lot more mobility than those Jersey Devils defensemen, though. The Penguins get it behind them. The Leafs have a much better chance of being able to get back and get the puck first.
And 5 goals scored in a span of 4 minutes and 37 seconds in the second period. Dumped around the wood and off the far wing of the Toronto zone. Yannick Perreault challenged by Morozov, number 95. But it squirts away from him, and the Maple Leafs ramble. Here's Berard, who hits center red and shoots it in. Robert Lang on to Bob Dallas, who has scored for the Pens, to Robbie Brown. And behind Karpatsev. Return in front of his goaltender Joseph and swinging up the right side beyond the reach of Volk. Gets to it, though. He overskates, and the Penguins might have a chance here if they hurry. Up to center comes Hatcher. He'll drive the defense back, trying to get through him. In around the net area, loose puck, and it caroms in the corner. Markov had a stick held by Hatcher. Kicks the puck away with a good effort. Yager's over to field it. Yager of the Penguins with it in the near boards. Yager trying to beat Sundin, going hard behind the net. Turns around. Looking. Still carrying that puck. Sundin trying to close ground on him. He shoots it. It was off Sundin. Hatcher poke it back over to Miller, who leaves it for Hrdina. Yager's in front. They try and give it to him. He took a swipe at it, but he got nothing but air. Here's the lead pass to Sergei Berezan. Hatcher trying to retreat. Berezan comes with speed, and a good shot by Berezan. And a nice save by Barrasso. Penalty coming up here. Berezan got hurt. Hatcher and he collided, but it'll be a cross-checking call against the Penguin defenseman. Boy, Berezan, what a beautiful move that was. Full speed, carrying that puck and flip it all around and still get the shot off. There aren't a whole lot of players in this league that can make that move.
Yeah, you just kind of have to dish the puck, and that's what he did. He just kind of dished it towards Barrasso here and tried to get it goalward. He got a backhand shot off, and Tommy made the save. From that angle, you really couldn't tell. Barrasso had to really work to get his left pad on this shot right there.
Boy, and Hatcher was at the tail end of the shift, too. He had worked hard all the way in the Toronto zone and had to come back and take this one-on-one effort against Berezan, and he did a pretty good job. Just forcing him enough, to be wide enough and not get a clean shot. But he gets called here for cross-checking. And the penalty at 18:29. So it'll be power play chance number 2 for the Maple Leafs. The difference in the game right now, the rookie, Adam Mayer, scoring his first
Funny how things happen. Sullivan couldn't play because of back spasms. Mayer gets plugged into the lineup, scores a goal. Last game, they took Modine out because he'd been struggling scoring. They put Bajonas on the first line to replace him. He scores a goal and assists on another.
Everything they're touching's turned into goal. And the Penguins will try and get the rest of this period over here without doing any damage against them. Camerlaw swings it in. Barrasso's going to stop the play, fire it up the glass. Sundin couldn't settle it. Moran battles him one-on-one. It bounces free, and Cote taps it back into the corner. Bajonas in a scramble for it against Wawrinka. Goes behind the net to Sundin. Up off the chest of Bajonas. He'll back it up off the window, and the Penguins have it. This is Thomas Camerlaw. Giving the puck to Silva and Cote. Less than a minute to go in the period. The penalty will carry through the end of this period, so we'll go by the scoreboard clock. Time left. Jammed back into the Penguins into the rink. Steve Thomas has the puck. Going behind in front. He went right by Cote. Anytime Thomas touches that biscuit, he's so clever with it. The puck and looking for people. And he can shoot the puck too. He'll give you that little fake of a play and then fire it. He was not in a position to do it that time, but he can do it. Camerlaw moving over to Berezan. Quick speed again. Coming behind the Penguin net. Around he goes. Looks out. Turns and shoots it. Blocked once, twice. The Penguins have it. Kessa slows the pace down. Comes up to the Maple Leafs blue line and shoots the puck in on Joseph. Had to come off his blocker. And now he'll lead it ahead to Sergei Berezan. 12 seconds left. That's stop by the Penguins. They don't have much time here. Kessa's going to shoot it long as the clock ticks down. The Leafs will have the lead at the end of 2. One of the Penguins is down, or one of the Leafs is down. Back in the Pittsburgh zone. Derek King is down with 2.5 seconds left. See what happened to Derek King. He is in some pain.
Schlager just blasted him, and he went down awkwardly on his left arm, it appeared. The way he landed on his arm. Elbow, shoulder, maybe. Looks like shoulder the way he's dangling that arm right now. He went down hard on that arm. It was underneath him when he landed.
Derek King has scored a goal here in the second period for the Maple Leafs. He is in some pain. Only a quick face-off here until we end the period.
Barrasso's going to go to the bench.
Penguins will take a quick chance here. Stan Savard and Guy Junker will be with you during the second intermission. King leaves the game. He got his first playoff goal here in the second. So the extra attacker on for the Penguins. You need to win the face-off cleanly and really get that shot off in a hurry to the net. 2.5 seconds left. I think this is going to be a terrific third period here in the arena. Drop of the puck. Perreault wins it. And Barnaby hitting Markov as the period comes to a close. And that ends the second period. So here in Pittsburgh, we had a scoreless game until the 8:21 mark of period number 2, and then it all happened. Stay tuned for the Tribune Review second intermission report with Guy Junker. And we'll have highlights from the Detroit-Colorado series.
Out of the miraculous win category. I mean, they fell behind 3 times in this game. And Toronto was outplaying them, and Barrasso had to go nuts and come up with some huge saves. The biggest save of the game, I think, which really wasn't a tough one, which was huge. Remember the breakaway on Mark Johnson? The Penguins are down, Mike Johnson, excuse me. The Penguins are down 3-2 on a power play. Mike Johnson of Toronto goes in on a shorthanded breakaway. Barrasso says no. Couple of seconds later, Jágr ties it up. Couple of seconds later, Slager scores. I mean, this team is just, even every minute of the game tonight was a thrilling hockey.
Geico, we get the ball rolling on your claim quickly. Even in the middle of the night. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
With Bell Atlantic Mobile, you can make important calls from just about everywhere, like the "Let's Get Together" call or the I have a flat tire, Cole.
Just checking.
That's because everything we do is for one reason. That moment when you make the I need to check with the office call.
Do you have any idea?
No.
When are you going to be here?
We should be back around 2. Okay.
Your call goes through. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile.
I think we both know why we're here. There comes a time in every career when you just gotta hang 'em up. You're not pulling your weight anymore. Look at you. I mean, look at you. I gotta cut you.
Expect more from your credit card. With Discover Platinum, you get a low rate and new double cashback bonus awards. It pays to Discover Platinum.
Get out of here.
Never experienced the thrill of Mach 3. It's wake-up time. Introducing Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple-blade shaving system. 3 blades positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3, so you don't have to shave over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Pirates Astros tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports Net Pittsburgh.
Welcome back to the Civic Arena for the Tribune Review second period intermission report. A lot of fans around hockey, not just in Pittsburgh and Toronto, look forward to this series, figuring we'd see a lot of scoring, not the close checking, boring stuff that sometimes accompanies playoff hockey. Well, didn't happen a whole lot in the first 2 games, but it sure did here. 5 goals in 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Derek King with a nice Yarmer-Yager type pass. He likes to pass out backhand behind where he just skated in. He gets it to Mike Johnson. That made it 1-0 at 8:21 Toronto. 2 minutes and 21 seconds later, Kevin Hatcher got the equalizer on the power play. And while it seemed like all this was happening fast, they reviewed this one for almost 5 full minutes. The goal judge was emphatic. He turned the light on. He said it was across the line. They give him the goal at 10:42 to make it 1-1. A minute 37 later, Derek King, who late in the period went off the ice with an injury and has been a Penguin killer his whole career, got a goal. Mike Johnson on the assist. Sylvain Cote got 1-2. That's at 12:19. Made it 2-1. Then it really comes fast and furious. 3 goals in a total of 39 seconds. After King put that one in from his knees, Bobby Dallas gets one for the Penguins. How about that? 2 Penguin goals from defensemen. Robbie Brown with a nice setup pass. Dallas had a great chance, remember, in Game 2. He put it over the net. He goes high again, but this time it's in the net. And that tied at 2-2. But just 13 seconds after that, Adam Marr gave the Maple Leafs for 1-goal lead for the 3rd time of the night. A lot of people thought maybe Marr bowled Barrasso over before he put it in. Goaltender's interference, perhaps. He gets credit for the goal at 12:58. 3 goals in 39 seconds. That's more goals we had in the entire first game up in Toronto. So it was kind of a wild period. 5 goals in all. Depends on the short end of a 3-2 score. And Toronto will have a 28-second power play to start the 3rd period. When we come back, we'll check in on what's happening in Detroit, Colorado, and the Red Wings, and also bring you up to date on the Pirates and Astros.
Things sure have changed around here since Tom switched his gas station over to Gulf. Old Ed used to drive to the next town over just to get that good Gulf gasoline he grew up with. Ruth Ann says money experts recommend the Gulf MasterCard over most other credit cards. So now folks just fly right in, pay at the pump, and earn free gas. We still offer that good old-fashioned service. Gulf just made buying gasoline faster for people who don't have as much time on their hands.
Introducing a whole new idea in breakfast. New breakfast bagel sandwiches. Only McDonald's brings you our tender, juicy steak, egg, and cheese bagel, our zesty Spanish omelet bagel with sausage, and the classic taste of our ham, egg, and cheese bagel. 3 big breakfast sandwiches, all on a toasted bagel baked fresh daily at McDonald's. It's a new day and a new breakfast. Come on in.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
What do you know? There is something new under the sun.
The Flying Mile. Race fans gather at Daytona's Flying Mile.
Winning Daytona shows that the 300 is a spirited, full-blooded automobile with impeccable road manners.
Chrysler 300M, born like its ancestors with the most horsepower in its class.
No other car delivers this much motoring excitement.
She's a regular firecracker.
And now, Motor Trend 1999 Car of the Year.
Come on.
Want to know how to make that old computer go faster?
Yeah. That was pretty fast.
The latest computers at the fastest speeds at Office Depot. Low prices every day.
Welcome back to the Civic Arena. The Detroit Red Wings had won 11 playoff games in a row going into tonight, closing in on a record held by the Pittsburgh Penguins, who had won 14 in a row over 2 combined seasons back in 1992 and 1993. And the Wings got off to a good start tonight. They were up 2-0 on the Colorado Avalanche after winning 2 in Denver. They come home to Joe Louis Arena, and Steve Yzerman gets his 9th. That's right, it's just the second round, his 9th playoff goal for a 1-0 Detroit lead. That at 7:07 of the first period. But Claude Lemieux would come back and tie the game. Peter Forsberg and Joe Sakic getting assists at the 11-minute mark, and it was 1-1 after one. Theo Fleury made it 2-1 early in the second, and then Dale Hunter gets one to make it 3-1. Colorado starts storming back. Chris Drury would get one to make it 4-1, and Aaron Miller would make it 5-1. In the first 5 minutes and 5 seconds of the second period, they scored 4 times and take command of that game. It's 5-2 as Colorado did add a late one, and it's 5-2 now early in the third period, but it looks like Detroit's 11-game playoff winning streak is going to come to an end. Pirates are finding out that the Houston Astros pitching staff is a little tougher than the St. Louis Cardinals was. They took 3 out of 4, pounding out tons of hits in St. Louis over the weekend, but down in the Dome in Houston, it hasn't been that easy. Although they got off to a good start tonight, Ken Caminiti singled off of Todd Ritchie, 12-game hitting streak for Caminiti to make it 1-0 in the bottom of the first, but they came right back in the second when Al Martin gets a single off starter Sean Bergman. That tied the game at 1-1, but then the floodgates would open up for Houston. Jeff Bagwell, it's a 2-run double in the third inning. That made it 3-1. They would build an 8-1 lead by the fourth inning. The Astros are in the top 3 in pitching, ERA, hitting, batting average, and fielding percentage. But Al Martin at least has added a 2-run homer. Martin having a good game, so it is now a 9-3 Houston lead in the fifth. Here at the Civic Arena, it's the Maple Leafs 3 and the Penguins 2. A wild second period. 5 goals scored in a second period after a scoreless first. When we come back, the Maple Leafs will have a 28-second power play to start the third period as Kevin Hatcher serves out the rest of a penalty. And we will be back with third period playoff action from the Igloo right after this.
Hey, Dad, remember when you missed that foul ball?
We went to every museum.
And the shoe store.
I love that restaurant.
You were scared going up the incline.
Was not.
I remember I didn't want to leave.
For your free visitor's guide, call 1-800-VISIT-PA or visit our website.
Cities don't get any bigger than this. I'm proud to be a native New Yorker. It's a fabulous city. Gorgeous park. Biggest little boutique. We've got the biggest building.
Ever wonder why New Yorkers have such big mouths? Because we eat big pizza, like a big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. 16 inches of real New York pizza dripping with cheese at a very un-New York price.
$9.99. Honey, you should never give it away.
The big New Yorker, new from Pizza Hut. It's beautiful.
During Adventure 99, buy a Dodge Intrepid, and Dodge will give you your choice of $1,000 cash allowance or a super vacation package worth up to $1,800 at the new Universal Studios Islands of Adventure theme park in Orlando, Florida. It's the adventure of a lifetime, and we have the rides to prove it. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
To produce the ultimate hockey player, you need the right combination of power, speed, agility, and CCM. Because at CCM, we've spent the last 100 years perfecting every component down to the finest detail, with only one goal in mind. CCM, the hockey company.
The 9th annual Eaton Park Harmerville Hoops Classic 3-on-3 basketball tournament is Saturday, June 5th. It's open to all age groups 10 and up. Only the first 700 teams are accepted, so enter early. The deadline is May 22nd. Just pick up an entry form at any Eaton Park restaurant or call the Hoops hotline at 412-826-2772. Harmerville Hoops, sponsored by Eaton Park, celebrating 50 years of smiles.
All right, so you say to your friend, I'm going to go visit John down the street, okay? I'm going to leave. The game is 0-0. I'm going to drive from here to there, and I come back, and all of a sudden it was 0-0, now it's 3-2.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know, why should we be surprised, really, knowing what these teams were like during the regular season? The Leafs, the highest scoring team in the league. The Penguins, for a period of time during the regular season, were the league's highest scoring team. So these guys can put pucks in the net. The question is, you know, which team is going to put the most in at the end of the game? You know, it might be the last shot wins on one of these nights in this series. But I got a feeling it might settle down again and be a very difficult third period where both teams have a tough time getting the puck behind the goaltenders. You never know, though, Mike. But it is fun to watch teams score goals, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more scored before this series is over.
Well, the Pens have had a propensity for coming back in games this year, and I have a feeling here tonight that they very well may do that against the Maple Leafs. It has been an interesting series, to say the least, so far. This is only the third game, and we may have a lot of hockey to go before it's all done.
I'll tell you, the Leafs are a good hockey club, and they're showing it tonight. They're playing much better defensively, and the Penguins are playing into their hands a little bit. They've got to get the puck in deep against them. They turned the puck over in the neutral zone quite a bit in that period, and the Leafs have really, I think, been getting to the loose pucks a little quicker than the Penguins. They've been a little bit more of a threat, I think, in the Penguins' end than the Penguins have been in their end, and I think the Penguins need to find a way to get the edge offensively here in the third period.
And you will look at Tom Barrasso and Curtis Joseph. Those will be the two goaltenders that will have to shine in the third period. We'll be back with the third period in just a moment.
If you want to get a better read on Pittsburgh, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Pittsburgh people just really enjoy their sports, and that makes being able to write about those people fun to do.
People in the Pittsburgh area were born to hunt and fish, and they love to do it, and I love talking to them about it.
I cover sports from a fan's perspective. I was born here, grew up here, and there's nothing like a Pittsburgh sports fan.
Call 1-800-909-TRIB to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Carol Johnson believes the mammogram reminder card we sent her saved her life. Carlin Skipworth believes her early colon cancer screening saved her life. If it's hard for you to believe that our long-standing commitment to preventive care and early detection actually makes a difference, we have proof, living proof. We're Aetna U.S. Healthcare, raising the quality of healthcare in America.
Hello, everybody. I'm Van Allray with the We're Having a Ball sweepstakes. Be sure to watch Fox Sports News Primetime every weeknight for your clue. Winners will join us this July to watch baseball's ultimate showcase in Boston. The We're Having a Ball sweepstakes brought to you by 1010-220.
For the latest highlights and insights on the NHL playoffs, turn to Keith, Kevin, and our primetime team for all your playoff action and reaction.
Check, please.
Fox Sports News Primetime, nightly at 10.
The all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee is totally re-engineered to have more power, more safety, and more on- and off-road capability than ever before. So where do we go from here? Anywhere at all. Now lease the all-new Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $359 a month at your Jeep dealer.